Hey guys, it's Clary. If you clicked on this video, then you're probably trying to find a way to add a little bit of flair to your default Shopify product page. The steps I'll be taking you through works on almost any theme, so follow along because by the end of this video, you'll finally be able to make your dream product page come to life. To create a custom product page, you need to create a new template. So from your Shopify dashboard, click on Online Store. Click Customize on your live theme. Then click on the page drop-down at the top center of your screen. Select Products. And then at the very bottom of the list, select Create Template. Name your page a name that you want. I'm going to call mine Midnight. And then click Create Template. You can select the product you want to preview while editing this template by clicking Change next to the preview at the top of the panel on the left-hand side. I'm going to select Midnight Luxe. We're only editing a template, which means that you need to manually assign it to a product later. I'll show you how to do this later in the video. For now, let's move on. Customizing your product page by using what's available on your theme. If you look at the panel on the left, you'll find the template section. This is where you can edit the elements that are already on the page and add some more. You can delete anything you don't like by hovering over the element on the panel and clicking the bin icon. In this case, I want to get rid of the share button. You can add an element by hovering over the space between existing elements until you see a blue line, and then clicking on the blue plus icon on top of that line. Select an element from the list that pops out. The options available will be different for every theme, but just to illustrate what can be done, I'll select the icons with text element. Let's use the icons with text element as trust badges. You can edit its contents by clicking on the element on the panel and change each icon by selecting from the icon drop-down. Just like that. But I'll keep mine the same because I actually like these icons. You can do this for all three icons. But let's skip ahead because I'm pretty sure you get the point. To edit a different element, click this chevron on top of the editor. And similarly, I can also edit the collapsible row element by selecting on it on the panel, adding an icon by selecting the icon from the drop-down, and editing the text. Now, I actually want two of these, so you can actually duplicate this and then enter the content again. And you can do that by going back to your template section, and then finding the element, right-clicking, and hitting duplicate. Again, to edit this new duplicated element, all you have to do is click on it, changing the text, changing the icon, and pasting in the content. Now, you'll notice that this is in a weird order. So to change the order of the elements, all you have to do is hover over the element you want to move, clicking on the dot icon on the left-hand side, and then clicking and dragging it to the position that you want it to sit. So let's fast forward. And remember, hit save on the top right-hand corner of your screen to save your work. And finally, I want this image to take up more space. So click on the product information on the template panel to access the settings of this entire section. Under media settings, set the width to large and change the fit to fill, and leave everything else as is. Add a new section to tell your customers more about your product. You can do this by going back and clicking on the Add Section button at the bottom of the template part of the panel. Your theme should have various sections available, so pick what's right for you, but I'm going to select the image with text option. You can select an image, change the height to large, and for the content on the right, select middle for the position settings and make sure that it's aligned on the left. There's also many other settings which I won't go through because it will be different for everyone's themes. But with this section, you can also swap if you want the image to come up on the right or the left, like that, but let's stick with the left. And you can also play with the top and bottom padding, which is essentially the gap on the top and the bottom of the section. I'm going to leave it as is for now. And I'm also going to go back and delete this button since I don't want to distract the users from anything. And I'm going to delete it because I don't want the users to go anywhere else. And as always, you can edit the text by clicking on the individual elements within the section and replacing its contents. Just like that. What we've done so far is still pretty limited to your theme, but I did promise to show you how to get unlimited customization. So for that, you'll need something called a page builder app. There's many of them out there, but my favorite is Gempages. You can install Gempages by going back to your dashboard. Click on search and type up Gempages. I would highly recommend investing in Gempages if you want to save time and money, but if you want to understand what you're getting before you purchase, I do have a video where I deep dive into the app and teach you how to recreate any custom design. Once you've installed the app, click back to dashboard and hit create a new page. Select start from scratch. You'll be taken to a page editor which looks pretty similar to your theme editor. You can drag and drop sections and elements from the left-hand panel onto the page. Gempages allows you to build sections from scratch without code, or use one of their pre-built sections to make editing quicker. Let's start with their pre-built options. In sections, I'm going to select how to use. I like the look of this template, so I'm going to select it and drag and drop it to the page. From here, I can select the element I want to edit straight from the page and change the settings on the left-hand panel. I want to change the font to Assistant to match the rest of the website and also change the font size. I'm going to do that for all the text headings I see. And then I'm going to change the background color by selecting the section, scrolling down, under background, click color, and then change the background to a nice gray color. I'm also going to change the image on the right hand side by clicking on it and going on the left hand panel, browse gallery, and select my image. I'd also like to add an as seen in section, so let's do that. Click on the plus icon, select sections, select brands, and then drag and drop the first option onto the page. Again, you can change the font by clicking on the element you want to edit. And I'll show you a little trick here. You can right click on the element, select copy and copy style, and then paste the style by right clicking, hitting paste, and selecting paste style to the other elements to quickly change the font for all the columns. So quick and easy. And now let's learn to create a new section from scratch. I'd like to add a video background with a title and text on top. So I'm going to click add a blank section over here, or alternatively, you can click this plus button and drag a row in. After that, I'm going to hit the plus icon again, scroll down and select this hero banner element, and then drag and drop it in. I'm going to go full screen to see what I'm looking at, and then back to desktop view. To add a video in the background, scroll down to banner source, click video, and then add your video link here. I've actually added my video in the media section on Shopify, so I'm going to click video hosting and insert my link here. And now I want the heading and the paragraph to be beside each other horizontally rather than stacked like this. So what I can do is hit this plus icon, add a 2-column row, click on the element I want to move, and drag and drop it to the column. I can do the same for the paragraph, and I want to delete this button. So you can do that by clicking on it and hitting the bin icon. To align this properly, I'm going to click the heading and align the text to the left and do the same thing to the paragraph. Now it's looking a little bit too spread out, so you can hover over the row, click on it, scroll down to size, select the percentage icon on the width options, and then change the width to 80%. So it's looking a lot better now. The last thing I want to do is change the background of this section. So if you hit full screen, you can see that this background is white, which I don't quite like. So go on desktop, select the entire section. If you're having trouble locating it, just right click, open layer tree, and then select the section to access its settings. And then scroll down to the background, select color, and enter in the hex code of the color you want to change it to. I lied because the last thing I actually want to do is get rid of the padding at the top and bottom, because to me it looks really weird. And let's preview it on full screen. That's much better. Finally, hit save to save your work. This is just the basics of Gempages editor, so I would highly recommend looking in the description below and watching my whole tutorial on Gempages. Also, almost forgot to change this font. Okay, and once you're done, hit save. Do is save the sections we created as individual sections, which you can drag and drop into your theme template editor. You can do this by right-clicking on a section, hit Save Section, and giving it an appropriate name. I'm going to call this 01 Video Background with Text. Oh, and it doesn't fit. So I'm just going to call it Video Background Text. Hit Save. Alright, and then you'll see it appear in your template library. Exit and do it 2 more times on the first 2 sections you created. Let's just fast forward. Okay, I'm gonna save it once more time before I go back to my theme editor. Hit exit, go back to online store, hit customize, select products, go back to your midnight template. And then just like how you would add a section from your theme, you can do the same with the sections you create on Gempages. So hover over the spot where you want to put your new sections in on the left-hand panel and click Add Section. Type up your section name and select it. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and add the remaining sections. And now I can see it's not in the right order yet. So as you did before, you can drag and drop the sections to where you want it to go. And it's all done. When you're happy with it, hit save. And finally, you can assign this template to a product. So go back to your dashboard, click on products. I want to assign it to this particular product, so I'll click on it. Scroll down to theme template. At the moment, it's set to default. So if you scroll back up and click view, you can see it's just our plain old Dawn theme template. But now, if you scroll back down and select midnight, hit save, scroll up and click view, hit view. And so sometimes your browser will cache the page and you won't see the changes. And if it does that, just add a question mark at the end of your URL and type in some random numbers to do a hard refresh. And you can see that the template has been changed to what we just created. And it looks beautiful. Okay, now that you've got your dream product page, let's make sure your customers can actually find them. You can do this by organizing your products into collections, so then that way your customers can find what they need faster, and so they're more likely to buy something from your store. You can watch the tutorial right here, and I'll see you in the next one.